House of holly rocking around. Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Everyone dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned way.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the TGA LSPL coverage brought to you by LPLN. I'm your man, Nick Tasty Devanjako, with a new face, a very intelligent face, and one of the awesomest faces I know. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Kelsey Moser. Drum roll, please. Where's my GG button? You deserve a GG button. You really do. Good to have you on here, Kelsey. Always good to talk to you. So, it's very exciting. Gotta get all the hype, man. Gotta get all that hype up in there. So we're in picks and bans for game one of this final best of three. It is a best of three, I do believe, between... Oh, wait, this is the third place match. Oh, I thought this was the finals. It's Emmy versus GB.
That's not good. Okay.
That's a heartbreaker. So a third place match.
We have a third place match. This was unexpected. Was not on the website. Okay.
And Vici Gaming banned out Morgana. They banned out Morgana from the top laner of ME.
I mean, if they want to run Gnar, like it was previously used when they were running Gnar, as a counter pick when the enemy top laner ran Gnar, but I guess they just don't want to deal with it in general. Don't see Morganas in the top lane very often.
Yeah, I feel
so that's something that you'll ban out if you're not comfortable playing against. Otherwise, though, they did ban out Gnar actually blue side first, so yeah, they just don't want to deal with the Morgana at all. It looks like also we have.
So psyched.
We're very psyched. Okay, looks like also we have a Kha'Zix and Jarvan. I've been seeing a lot of Kha'Zix and Jarvan in jungle, a lot of Jace throughout this tournament. Very standard picks. Looks like they might lock in the Rumble. The Rumble and the Maokai have a very interesting interaction. Early on in lane, Rumble should do pretty well against the tree. But as the game progresses and it gets later and later in the late game, the AoE damage cancellation of the Maokai is going to ultimately nullify a lot of Rumble's damage because he doesn't scale very well after mid-game.
Yeah, a lot of really ordinary picks. You know, we saw Graves yesterday by... Was it the 80 carry? I think it was the 80 carry for Vici Gaming. So a lot of these picks, they're just niche picks that everybody's going with right now. They are the very meta type of stuff. Rumble in the top lane versus Maokai. That's gonna be a fun lane to watch, though, like you were just talking about, because you know they can both still bully each other pretty early on very well. So gonna see who gets the best of each other right there as we wait for this last pick from the side of Vici Gaming. The Gaming Snakes, the Vici Gaming Snakes.
The Vici Gaming Snakes. So yeah, if it wasn't explained before, the Snake organization did end up buying Vici Gaming, so that's why their tag is now Snake GV. We haven't updated it for this tournament, so it looks like they're going to finish this tournament under the same tag.
So they're not the Vici Gaming Snakes?
Okay. Well, they're Snake Vici Gaming. I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Doesn't Vici Gaming Snakes sound so cool, though? Sounds like such a good name.
I mean, it's such a great name, obviously.
It sounds pretty damn awesome. You gotta leave it there.
So it looks like on one side, we have pretty much a poke-oriented AoE kind of composition where we have the Corki and the Jace, which is going to be laying down a lot of poke. But then we also have the Lockdown and the Rumbles. They're going to mostly be wanting to poke down and then hard engage in teamfight. Whereas on the other side, we have an assassin, so they want to get a pit. We have a couple assassins and also a lockdown, so they want to get a couple picks before initiating the fight. Maokai will, again, late game, they'll want to scale a little bit more into late game to get their assassins really going, and for Maokai to be able to nullify some of this damage. They won't probably be looking to contest a lot of those early dragon fights, and considering how heavily favored dragon is currently, we'll see just how devastating that can be for them, or if they can really make it count.
Sounds like a giggity moment to me. And, both these teams yesterday, I mean, they weren't having first bloods in their games until 8-9 minutes in. So those early game dragon fights, could just get further and further out as these games go on. And this set seems pretty even, if I have to be honest here, just from what I've seen of both these teams, just yesterday. So this could potentially be a pretty awesome 3-game set.
I'm going to give a slight advantage to Team Me here. I just think that they, at least on an individual talent level, their mid lane, their jungler, and their AD carry have shown just a little bit better standout performances, I think. We had that game earlier tonight where they almost came back from behind just because they were able to position really well in team fights with that Ezreal quirky composition.
So it looks like we're, kind of in that loading screen type area where we get to look at these two people on the couch. So I'm guessing I'm the guy on the left, and you get to be that pretty Asian woman on the right.
And there's just thought those two boxes. Raz was the pretty Asian woman.
Oh, that's right. So I forgot Raz is the pretty Asian woman.
I've been lied to all the time.
Are we gonna do? We got to go through like a Secret Santa type thing here because they have those little, like we were talking about, Christmas presents, on the couch. We got to do a Secret Santa. We draw names. It's like, oh, we got to buy somebody a skin of their choosing or something, so that's going to happen. That's going to happen.
Absolutely. I mean, why wouldn't it?
And you know what? I'm going to draw Kelsey. And I'm going to get Kelsey Pulsefire Ezreal.
Oh, wow. That skin is
Kelsey
really expensive.
Is awesome. I know it is.
For no reason. I also hear it's extremely clunky. Like, I haven't played with it, but a lot of Ezreal players don't really even like it just because it takes a lot of time to get used to.
Yeah, a lot of those Riot Pliz posts on Reddit all have to do with bugs on, that Ezreal skin. So, needless to say, it can be pretty clunky. So, we're in the loading screen here, and give me your prediction before we get into this game. You said you're giving the slight edge to me, so you think they take this game in this game one against Vici Gaming Snakes?
I do think that they are going to take out Vici Gaming Snakes. I think that their composition also is a little bit more straightforward and easier to execute and slightly more meta-favored with the mid-game power spike focus. And the fact that they were playing those compositions with the Ezreal and the Quirky fairly well earlier, even from behind. So obviously it's really difficult to play those kinds of compositions from behind.
I wonder if they're still in the delay, because I feel like loading screen shouldn't be lasting this long.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's going on here.
Maybe they realized and were like, oh, we're supposed to be streaming the finals, not third place match. GTFO, everybody, GTFO.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I was a little confused about that because I did see some websites had a third place match scheduled, but they had delayed it, and according to the main page, it only had three sets scheduled. So I don't know what's going on.
It happens. So we'll just make and manage and deal with it. But now is probably a good time, I guess, for some shout outs, like to the Kelser for coming on here to help out and jump in whenever Hubo was late to the party or moderately early to the party, but they played a third place set, So shout outs to the moderators of the channel, everybody. Oh, he did know it was going to I could see it.
Yeah, clearly. He says, you only scheduled me for the finals, so I don't have to show up.
It is Hubo. You never know what to expect.
I'm finding that out more and more.
Oh, man.
Decides every once in a while that he's going to quit China Talk and then reappears, so...
Yeah, I
We have
don't
Raz
know
now.
what's up with that, but
Nice.
Raz.
Raz has been a good China Talk stand-in. I don't know if I lost you. Oh, good. This is super exciting. Um, well, it looks like we're having a little bit of a difficulty with TGA Nubbinz, so you'll have to enjoy listening to my very exciting voice for a little bit. Well, going over the tournament so far, Edward Gaming Future has been looking really, really strong. And that's, like, I made the comment on Twitter, I think some people cited it, that if they continued to play consistently, that they would do really well in LSPL. I've seen a few chinks in their armor. For example, they tend to go all in on some of these poke compositions. This composition isn't exactly the most straightforward. Oh, okay. It looks like we are going to be getting into the game. Right here of the me versus Vici Gaming Snakes, as Senor Tasting Nubbinz so lovingly likes it and likes to call them. We are starting out with 4 point. I am really sorry for this, guys. I am not by any means a caster, but I will do my very best to make this situation, it's a very unfortunate situation, work and entertain you. So we have Neko the tree setting up, scouting out in the top red bush. It looks like we're going to have standard lanes in the bottom. Both of these teams kind of have this power spike when they hit level 6 with very, very explosive ultimates. I think the Graves is slightly more favored just because of the burst that he can get at level 2 very early on, especially with the Thresh. It looks like they're going for this huge exchange. As you can see, Graves already doing so much early burst damage, able to get that final last auto attack, and Corki goes down. Thresh grabs the Flay. They're just going to keep going at this Nami, but she's able to go out with some pots and some sustain. However, she will have to back, won't get the XP. So we're starting out already with an advantage in the game for Vici Gaming in the bottom lane, as I mentioned. Up top, it looks like this lane is forcing out Neko a little bit with the Rumble. Usually Rumble starts to really hit his lane dominance early, but it looks like he's grabbing that Flame Spitter at level 1, just so he can try to get a little extra bully power on the Maokai, even though his last hits might suffer a little bit. Down in the bottom lane, it looks like Corki has returned to lane. But I think probably after getting that first blood, Graves and Thresh are going to back. They're going to pick up some items and hopefully be able to take advantage and pressure that advantage. Usually when you get first blood, you want to grab those early buys so that you can continue to dominate lane, especially on a carry like Graves that's going to have a huge early game advantage with those abilities. And maybe a shorter range, so not do as well in teamfights. Not sure if Senor Nubbinz is back yet or not from his technological issues.
Hello?
Ah, okay.
Can you hear me?
He can.
Hello, my lady.
He can save all of you from my attempts to solo cast.
If it's any consolation, you sounded great. I'm happy to have you.
Thank you for the empty flattery.
I gotta find the. That's right. Got it.
Yeah. Okay.
I keep forgetting the last word in the name of it. I really do. I was like, this stream, this place, this game. The last word, but I'm loading back into it right here. So sorry about that. I can't remember the last time I had a random power hit at 5 in the morning.
Wow.
But needless to say, I am here, ready to go. So, I forgot we get to see Orange again.
Yeah, Orange doing some trades in the mid lane.
I love that guy. He's really good. His Orianna is sick. So, what did I miss?
Well, we had an early first blood go down the bottom, with where Graves went back and was able to buy a long sword to continue pressuring his advantage. However, Corky also came back with a long sword because he accumulated enough gold to do so while he was dead. So Graves only has
good.
a boot advantage, so he can chase him down and kill him faster.
That movement speed can be pretty huge, as you know,
Absolutely.
early on. So it looks like the Jarvan has snuck in the lane a little bit up here in the top side. Do they go for this dive, or do they kind of slow play this a little bit? They've got pretty much free space right here, but still 800 gold down despite, losing that first blood up. Darkside's heading up in that direction as well. So, these junglers with their cleric pass are pretty even as far as everything is concerned. And they're really putting a lot into trying for this kill.
Yeah, it looks like down bottom things are trading. Top lane though, looks like the jungler will back. Jarvan will go back. Mee's top laner is actually paying off for the investment into that Flame Spitters. He chose to go Flame Spitters level 1 just to bully the Maokai, but his CS isn't really suffering, so he's doing really well. However, Maokai will come back with a few extra little items, so he'll probably want to push out and go back here soon.
Yeah, Rumble probably going to go work and build into that quick and easy haunting guys to basically bully out the health. I mean, Maokai's going for that early Rod of Ages, building into a catalyst right here. So 6 minutes in, he's pretty much on good timing with that item set so far. I mean, might actually see an engage. That was a little bit clunky, but they do land the Death Sense. Ignite's taking away at Nami as well. The smoke screen to try and do as much as he can. Buckshot, he's going heal on her turret. He's going to go down. This is the same thing that's killed a lot of these teams, is these aggressive dives so early on. And now Thresh might be in a little bit of trouble for himself as well, as the teleport did come down. Jarvan made an appearance as well. They're just going to go on a turret, give it up to Rumble. J4 stays alive. Or does he? Oh, the heal. Good save. 2-1, and Emmy take the kill lead, and they're still tying it up on gold.
That was really nice coordination by Team Me, knowing what they could survive, factoring in the Nami heal to make that happen. And also, the thing is though that they identified that they were a little bit of a deficit, but they had a top lane advantage, because the Rumble was bullying so well, and so they used the teleport, managed to recover from the slight deficit in bottom lane, and also get Rumble even further ahead so he can go back top and continue to bully the Maokai.
So we get into a pause, and now gold's pretty much even. The kill lead is there for me. Nobody's gone for those early dragons. We're only 6 minutes and 50 seconds in, so a lot can happen at this point in time. Kelsey, gotta ask you, how's it going?
Well, that's a very difficult question to answer, you see, because I normally don't assess my emotional well-being at regular intervals. I do, however, care a lot about these, the early sorcerer shoes that Rumble chose to pick up. It's pretty interesting, just going all in on that magic penetration. There you go. And then we have mid lane. Our Jace has begun stacking tears. I'm not a big fan of segways. I see them all around the city all the time.
I've always wanted to ride one. I've never been able to because, they're expensive as hell, but I've always wanted to ride one. I really have. I feel like it'd be so fun to cruise around 5 miles an hour.
Tours. You see them like ducklings following their leader just around the city. It's interesting.
That's actually really fun. That sounds really awesome. I gotta tell you, I would be totally game for that. Whenever I come up there to see you guys, if that ever happens, we're going Segway touring.
Oh,
it's gonna happen.
I look forward to wandering out with my fanny pack.
You should look forward to it. You really should. But needless to say, we are back into the game here, so we get to see how this one happens. Looks like Orange, with his awesome mid lane skills, forced Zed back. And we saw him. Orange has been like the MVP forever as far as yesterday is concerned. He was the MVP in every game. He played out of his mind. And I don't even think he looked that bad in their loss earlier today. So
they did have him playing jungle, though, for that game. So that was interesting. I think once they had qualified, they wanted to see if they could experiment, swap their roster around. That's actually not too uncommon for Chinese teams in third-party tournaments or in matches where they don't feel the stakes are too high. They're seeded into LSPL, but LSPL isn't seeded, so it's just a league. So no matter where they go in or how well they do in this tournament, they have the same weight there. So I think they're feeling comfortable to sort of try things out. Kind of like when we saw going playing AD carry in the NVIDIA Gaming Festival, and everyone thought that was going to be a permanent switch. And no, they were just experimenting, so it's okay. Calm down. Going will be playing top lane this year.
I don't know what the prize is for this tournament if these teams really are banking that much on needing first place, but or what the privilege is for that first place, but. Like you said, if that is the case, there's nothing wrong with experimentation. Always good. You qualified. You got some free time to just have a little fun and sit back and relax. So why not? We're in another pause, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen. And I get the feeling there's going to be many more in this game. Many more.
Yeah, it seems like the top laner for me is having quite a few technical difficulties. I feel we can relate a little bit. But I think we're going to get back into the game shortly here. It's counting down.
Yes, we are. Timer is counting down, so we're going to be back in game for about 35 seconds before they pause it again. So, lane stacking up. We can take a look at our first CS account. Looks like a little bit of a lead up top. 10. We're kind of breaking that mark. 17 in the jungle, separating Jarvan and Kha'Zix. And it's just getting bigger and bigger. And then mid lane, actually very even, but 62-39 down bottom lane. Graves bullying Corki to hell. And these are two bottom laners that are especially known for their bully potential early on. So this lane is definitely turning out to be a pretty good one. All these lanes fairly stacked for the most part. They're pretty close.
Yeah, things are looking close. It looks like we have Vici Gaming Snakes. Now you've got me saying it. Planning some kind of invade. They're camping the red buff, waiting for the jungle to wander over here. It looks like he's going to come with orange, so this might be more than they expected.
Yeah, it looks like they saw that shock blast, so they're going to play a little bit slow. Deathmark, though, onto Orange. He actually flashes out in the jump up and in, juking all the way through. Orange is alive for the now, but they're actually Cataclysm on. They're turning it on poor little Kha'Zix. Flash in from the Zed, and it looks like Zed takes down Jace. Trying to kill it up again. Can Jarvan pick up a return? Yes, he can. Flashing the wall, but it looks like this might be 2 kills for Zed, which is never a good thing. Flag and Dragon out. He's actually might be able to stay alive here, and he should be able to take this one all the way through. Tim backing up and out. Corki actually going in. Trade up, 1-for-1, 80 carry for 80 carry, and now it's Nami versus the world right now on the chase, ladies and gentlemen. Q Benny Hill theme, 4-3, 400 gold lead for Vici Gaming Snakes, and that red buff still stands.
These are some pretty close matches, it looks like, so even just in the jungle, they're kind of running into each other. These plans that set up for Vici Gaming, they fail to protect Orange's involvement. So they're trading very evenly, and I think a lot of this could be mitigated if they had better ward coverage around knowing for the setup. And they have laid down wards, but see, the objective's been taken, so I have to question their new decision.
Are you kidding me? Under the turret, Orange is like, I'm going to go get a solo kill in lane. Why not? It looks like Darkseid might be able to pick up a return here. Nami actually making an appearance. So unless this death sentence goes golden, he should be good to go. But never mind, Darkseid picking it up through the acceleration gate. They catch on to this little Nami too. Down for the count. So make it a good trade for the ages. J4 going to flag and drag up and out. But even still, it turns into a 1-for-2 trade. Take it or take it, leave. I'm trying to decide when I say take it how you want it or take it or leave it. 5-5, 1,000 gold over to Vici Gaming Snakes. God, that name gets better and better every time I say it.
Immediately after taking that mid lane, they're going to go ahead and transition to pressure this objective. They do still have Jarvan available, but it looks like they're going to take the dragon.
Yeah, and the equalizer came out, and now it's just Rumble being a huge, big boy. I tell you what, over the side here, Zed coming up, Deathmark. This is going to be huge AoE. He's going to pick up 1, 2, maybe even 3 here. Picks up 2, and now Rumble go down. Darkseid making it happen. 3 down for 3 in that trade. You know what? That seems pretty even overall. Dragon, though. Dragon was taken away. So,
Yeah.
Top turret goes down to basically return it up, but huge lead for Vici Gaming.
Yeah, VG Gaming cleaned up there. So typically we said that with the combination of the Jarvan and the Rumble, we'd see better early dragon control coming out from me. What they failed to do is utilize the fact that they wanted to poke down beforehand a little bit, and also the fact that they were engaging without their mid laner, with their mid laner down for the very early stages of that fight. And the fact that Zed had picked up those kills, he's beginning to snowball a little bit further ahead than what they had anticipated. So he really came in and just almost 1v3 that fight after a certain point. So Vici Gaming was able to, and they didn't even involve their top laner really. He was able to continue to take that turret, and they just cleaned up that entire short period.
So kills are 8-8. The gold definitely telling a different story, a little bit more of a one-sided story for Vici Gaming Snakes right now. CS is, pretty heavy in favor of them too. The biggest deficit is in the bottom lane, 90 to 61, a 30 CS advantage for this Graves Thresh lane, who, when you think about it, probably would have an edge on Nami Corki, but making themselves be heard right now in this bottom lane. And itemization, you've got the Cutlass, no Bork completed yet for Zeddy went Cutlass Brutalizer, so opting, for a little more armor pen instead of going full ham onto that Bork. And J4 coming down bottom side, maybe we'll see a little bit of a fight. Looks like Flag and Drag up and in. Zed is making an appearance, so they try to pick up a kill before that happens. Cataclysm is up and down, and this is easily outnumbering. Equalizer coming down to split the team. Nicely done. Dark side forced over the wall, and now it looks like they've got the GV side on retreat, so they will run up and down. No dragon to take it this time, but that is free farms up in top lane for Maokai, despite there being no tier 2 or tier 1 turn for him to take.
And again, when you're engaging like that with Thresh, you have to always be mindful of a couple things. First of all, the ability of the top laner to teleport, and there is a gold advantage and a slight item advantage on the Rumble right now, just because they picked up that very, very early magic pen, whereas Maokai is still trying to ramp up to his Route of Ages. So if there's a teleport or altercation, it's going to go in Rumble's favor. Another thing that they have to keep track of is that they didn't necessarily, again, have vision of the flanking side, so they anticipated their mid laner coming up to join them, the Zed coming up to join them before the fight was over, but me had quite a bit of a numbers advantage. Just they engaged 3v2.
And this gold lead, staying steady at 3,000, but I feel like this game is a lot closer than that 3,000 gold lead. I mean, these fights, when we see the 5v5 start happening, it's like as the game goes on, you're going to see Vici Gaming, it's like they're going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. But with this mid-game turret pushing strategy that you've got with the siege of Jace and Corki, and even the Flame Spitters from Rumble for wave clear, basically, they could probably get a push on the mid lane here in the next 5 minutes or so, and then go for that dragon engagement and maybe win it.
Yeah, they definitely have the gold advantage now. They don't necessarily have the best dragon fighting comp, but as they've chosen to wisely just sort of leave Maokai in the top lane for the most part, even when they're having these engagements, because they know that at this point, Rumble is going to do more in a team fight, and Maokai will be able to mitigate some of the AoE damage, but he won't really ramp up until he has some of those MR items, and he won't be able to be this real tank force. He hasn't even completed his rod yet, so he's a little bit behind. But they know that if they can continue to snowball the Zed and they can continue to stall out a little bit, then they have a very good late game available to them.
Mm-hmm. I like how we're seeing in the mid lane, it's like Orange has 1 kill, Zed has 3 kills, and he's down in CS2, but Orange is like, I can take him easily, and they're just trying to duke it out all the time. It's like trades constantly going on between Orange and Tim. I think it's Tim. I want to say Tim. I like Tim. It's a good name.
So
nothing like my boy Tony, though.
I see.
No one beats Tony.
Yeah, rest in peace, Tony. But we have,
good,
I guess they're more willing to take these trades, especially since Orange, with the versatility of Zed and the amount of cooldowns, can sort of get a little bit more damage in a rotation out. Zed having to rely on the cooldowns and the energy bar.
So
Looks like we have
we're in a pause
another
again,
pause.
Kelsey. Yeah, we're in a pause again, Kelsey. This is the part where we start playing 20 questions. This time, though, on the side of Vici Gaming instead of that poor little Rumble. So hopefully we can get back in a game as soon as possible. Obviously, that is completely out of our control right now. But shouldn't be too incredibly long in this third place match in the TGA LSPL coverage by LPLN.
Thank you for that plug there. Brought to you by Twitch and Tencent Games. Okay. Yeah.
Golf clap.
What are we playing 20 questions? I kind of spaced out for a second there.
Oh, if we're playing 20 questions. If we're playing 20 questions, I forgot how to play 20 questions.
I think
it's
you're
like you
supposed
ask
to
20 questions.
You're supposed to think of something, and then I ask you 20 questions and try to figure out what it is, I think.
Okay.
That's how it works.
I'm thinking of something.
Is it a person?
Yes.
Okay. Is it Tony?
You beat me. In 2 questions, you beat me.
Oh. Wow.
I was thinking of Tony. Tony was the man. You can't bash on Tony. He was the lone survivor for his team. He was just like poor little, the Sultan. He was the Sultan of SWAT for that team. And he went down. He couldn't carry that team on his back. He was walking and he just stepped on a crack, and instead of breaking his mother's back, it just broke Tony's back. So
he did have some pretty
down
good
goes Tony.
Fate plays.
He did. He did have some good Twisted Fate plays. So timer is ticking away. We're still in a pause. It's only been 2 minutes though, and 20 questions is already over because I got my ass kicked. Because apparently Kelsey's god of 20 questions, or I'm just predictable.
Maybe a little bit of the latter. It looks like we do have the Negatron cloak on Maokai though, and the Rod of Ages. So looks like I'm guessing that Vici Gaming Snakes is going to, after this pause, want to force some fights going forward. Yeah, that'll be fun to see.
Leandry Sork shoes though on Rumble. I mean, we're talking about Negatron cloak, Rod of Ages, but 15-minute, 16-minute Leandry's completed with Sork shoes. That's pretty damn good for a Rumble. So he's gonna be a monster in the next fight too.
Absolutely, but Maokai's going to want to make use of his AoE damage mitigation threat. So hopefully he can maybe position himself on top of the equalizer and take care of some of that extra damage. That said, it's just pretty even across the board right now. I would say there's still a slight advantage for the mid lane Zed, and of course the CS difference is made up for a little bit in kill gold in the bottom lane. So, but otherwise it's mostly even, except for the mid and the jungle. I think have a slight advantage for Vici Gaming Sneaks.
This winter has just been brutal for me. My lips are so damn chapped right now. This winter has been brutal. It's not even winter yet. It's still like fall, winter, autumn, fun time.
Winter is already here in Chicago. I can assure you.
Oh yeah, sure. Hey, if you can brace through one of those Chicago winters, you can brace anything. I tell you.
Yep.
Or any of those Midwest and Northern winters like that.
Warmest article of clothing right now I have is actually my pack scarf, so I need to beef up a little bit.
The pack scarf.
It's very nice, actually.
So ever since Frost put out that tweet, about how, why she said, since LSPL was laid back, why are these guys not wearing sweater vests and stuff? I made a promise that I was going to wear a sweater vest or a sweater every single night we do this. I wore a sweater yesterday, and I've got my sweater vest on right now. I got it at the Goodwill store for $2. $2 for this brand nice, delicious sweater vest. I love it.
It's delicious.
It's delicious. It's delicious. It tastes delicious. It's a delicious tasting sweater vest.
Does it have some tasty nubbins on it? No?
It's got some tasty nubbins in it.
Oh.
Get it? Because I'm wearing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
19 minutes left in the pause timer. And this is the part where we both just fall asleep and crash right here.
We gotta reconnect, I think.
Oh, yes, we do. It might be. I think it is.
It's double disconnect. We have
Connected
4 brutalizers
twice
in this game, though. No, it's 5 brutalizers in this game. It's brutal.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, yes, we do. 5 brutalizers. A 3 brutalizer composition. You know, it's like you've got Maokai, but you want an AP top laner when you're going to run these double assassin compositions like this, and you want to have some AP for the later game to make him build magic resist, but there's a lot better champions to do such a thing than Maokai. If they would have, gone with the top laner, if they would have picked away the Rumble instead of Maokai, maybe, I'd like it a lot more, but, they're doing pretty good with the Maokai so far, so I have no room to criticize.
They know they're going to have to need some armor shred or some armor pens, so they're picking up those early brutalizers right away, kind of to preempt some of the armor that will probably come out soon. Yeah, and the fact that the Maokai is really behind just adds insult to injury at this point.
Mm-hmm. So Dragon is up and live, ladies and gentlemen. 1 second on the clock, ticking away, and Emmy wanting to take this one handily. Zed is split pushing up top, so they should have a pretty easy free route to this because I don't think Vici Gaming Snakes are going to try to fight this with Zed gone. So Dragon gets melted away pretty damn quick, and it goes over to me. So now they're only, 1,500 gold down. It's a different story here after being 3K down. Coming back up with the Dragon, looking for a potential push on the mid lane maybe. They could take down that turret. It is half HP, so get a little bit of a push going for the me team. The boys in blue.
It looks like Time was going to try to split push that second tier turret. If they had it, that definitely would have been worth a Dragon, that passive map control there, especially as it came to late game and Baron became a threat. So, unfortunately, me just was a little bit ahead, had managed to secure the vision area very well, had the poke threats, didn't get picked off this time, and so they just got that Dragon for almost free, except for the money that the wars cost.
Oh no! Time's clearing out wards in the jungle too. So the goalie, pretty much escalating itself right after being averaged out there a little bit. I don't know what we can expect here. I expect me to start using their turret sieging comp to their advantage here in the next little bit, because it's probably good for them if they want to start taking down those turrets. That mid lane is a great place to start. It's half HP, and they should be able to take it if they get one of those, 5-man turret siege pushes going on. There's not amazing amounts of wave clear from Vici Gaming, with the exception of the Zed. So, no invasion.
Yeah, they have pretty good wave clear on Graves. Graves isn't super safe wave clear, but he's very powerful wave clear. If they can make that work for them.
Yeah, it's like if he goes up there to try and wave clear, though, Nami, Bubble, you're dead. You're too close to me.
Pretty much.
Oh,
this is kind of the part where...
Wonder turret, he gets to jump up in with the Cataclysm. Turret aggro taking it. J4 getting wrecked up in the face. And all this tournament, the big thing has been turret diving. So we're seeing a little bit of a counter up engage. This engagement was initiated by Team Me, so they make it a 1-for-1, a 2-for-1 actually. Corgi to the backside, 3-for-1, 4-for-1. Are you kidding me? A trade for the ages, 4-for-1. They initiated it. J4 gets wrecked under their turret, and they turn it into a 4v1. Corky was untouched, and he just went complete backline and wrecked the entire Vici Gaming Snakes team. But all the while, Time was like, I'm going to go ahead and split push, taking down that turret, and he's looking for the inhib as well.
So, I will give... They did manage to take an objective advantage there, because the second tier turret is going to be a little bit more useful than the first tier turret. However, because of how much devastation Me did in that team fight, getting all that kill gold, It let them almost completely negate the gold advantage that Vici Gaming Snakes had picked up. And we saw, again, aside from just the number advantage, the fact that Mii's composition is just so much more straightforward. Just very easy to execute, protect the backline, a lot of zoning tools. Whereas Vici Gaming Snakes kind of has those assassins that have to get really down and dirty, and then a more short range AD carry.
Ooh, look at this! Look at this Vici Gaming team. They've got like pink wards here. The Shock Blast didn't spot any of them. That was like some serious slicing and dicing. We're 20 minutes in.
Because we're in China, Baron is important.
Oh man. Oh, the death sentence over the wall. Equalizer coming up. This is actually a huge trade. They're all just tanking so much Equalizer. And Vici Gaming got one pick, but Corky picking up 1, 2. And now they're trying to take it all the way back. It looks like Darky Boy over here on the Kazakhs is forced to retreat all the way through. Shock Blast from a distance. Oh, wide left. That's a shame. Flash over the wall for Orange, but the leap away from Dark Side. So he'll be able to stay good and stay on chugging. But Baron is being engaged upon by that Mii team. And this game is actually very, very flippin' close.
Yeah, it is very close. And I feel like Vici Gaming Snakes mid laner, just people criticize Chinese teams for not knowing how to split push. I feel like this guy just almost split pushes too much. He seems to be like they're unable to, of course, capitalize in these team fights. But if they're going to try to get a pick, again, I think a big part of this is just a lack of vision. They saw the Nami, they went for the bait, they got the pick, but immediately that AoE came down on them like divine retribution, and they lost 2 members, and with Zed in the bottom, that was an easy Baron.
I almost feel like MVP goes to J4. He got the knock-up and forced them to just keep on tanking so much Equalizer damage, and they were just... It's like that they got wrecked before they even had a chance to escape. And so they're just running out there with blinking HP bars. And you see Corky coming, he's like, hey guys, I have health shred. And he just wrecks them in the face. And now it's only a 600 gold deficit for Team Mii. You know, Dragon's up in 37 seconds. Mii could potentially take the gold lead right here. And it could help them snowball even further in this game.
Yeah, especially with their composition again, just has much more natural dragon control with all those zoning tools. Especially if Zed is going to persistently continue to split push. It has gotten them a lot of tower trades. You can see that they have a 5-2 tower advantage, but pretty soon just getting those towers isn't going to be enough. They're going to have to start making pushes for the base in exchange for some of these larger objectives that Vici Gaming that Mii is taking.
Kelsey, out of curiosity, when you PM'd Hubo the time that he needed to be here, what time was it?
I told him 5:30 a.m. Eastern time. So.
Yeah, I don't think he's coming back.
He's a little bit late.
I don't think he's coming back. That's a heartbreaker. So Mii took the dragon and the gold lead. They got the gold lead now, and they can totally get these pushes going on. Hubo is gonna never hear the end of this.
Pretty much.
I'm never gonna let him hear the end of this.
He's done me a few solids by showing up when everyone else canceled last minute, though, so I've gotta give him a little bit of credit here.
Alright.
Man. That guy, that Rumble, though.
I thought before I fell asleep last night, I was like, what if my alarm doesn't go off and I just miss this entire thing? I feel like, I was like, I think that everybody would hate me forever if I legitimately would have, if that would have happened. Forever and ever, you've just been like, yeah, Nubbinz, you're exiled from the friendships. You're exiled from the friendship. From the friendship.
You're from the Chinese LOL friendships. Yeah.
Exactly. The friendship. We're all on like this ship. Of the ship of friends. Of Chinese LOL. The Chinese LOL friendship. And it's like you guys would just throw me overboard.
Friendship is magic.
You would throw me overboard. Make me walk the plank, basically. And I would have to swim my way back to shore as a death sentence on a turret. The Cataclysm as well. Look at that. Orange picks up the kill on the Thresh. And it looks like it's going to be another trade. Maokai goes down. Double up for Orange on the Jays. Maybe a triple. Looks like Rumble Rumbly goodness picking up one. Sonya's under turret. And now the equal damage, the collateral damage. The equalizer is still up and ready to go. Rumble pick up another one. It's a 4-for-1 trade. And the turret goes down.
Good. Oh, how good are these dives here? Like they're under the tower. They immediately shift focus onto the Rumble. He Zonias. It's like a really, really smart diving principles. It's like one of my favorite things to watch in Chinese League of Legends is just how well executed some of their dives are. That said, it's looking more and more slowly creeping into Mii's favor. They still don't have a devastating gold lead, and they're actually still behind in turrets. So it's not completely out of the question for Vici Gaming Snakes to pull back in here, but I think Zed might have to pull out a Mission Impossible thing. I don't know, man.
I thought you said that's bullshit, but you said that said. I literally thought you said that's bullshit. I was like, what the fuck?
Why would that? That was kind of bullshit though. Zed was just like sneaking around and that's.
I can do Lord. Oh my god. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's 5:40 in the morning.
I feel like that's one of those solo queue moments.
Oh my god. Well, I mean it's safe to say ME have done a nice job with the Baron that they got. They're looking for an inhib push. They've got Darkseid basically caught out, with his pants down in the jungle. Take him down. J4 picks up the kill. This should be an inhibitor for them. Zed's still down for 5 or so seconds. They can get this inhib and they might go for it.
I kind of wonder what the thought process is there. I'm just gonna walk into this bush. No, totally not going to die for it. I don't know.
One of my good friends would always do that. He always go, and face check. And face check.
Always?
Always. Every time he did it, he would just do that. God, the health bars are just getting shredded for poor little Team Vici Gaming, and they're just getting wrecked right now. I mean, I know Mii's going to have to back, but if they got those kills, if they got like 2 more kills, they could have so ended that game. Oh, but Baron is up in a minute, so they could go over that.
So the interesting thing is that Vici Gaming's composition is designed much more like a pick composition with the assassins that they have, but Mii's doing a good job of just grouping up, and when Vici Gaming Snakes tries to make something happen, they just immediately annihilate them. It looks like Vici Gaming Snakes is looking for some desperation Baron plays here. If they can clear out the vision pit before Baron spawns in 30 seconds, they might have a shot, but they're going to have to keep their base clear and free of super minions.
Yeah, they didn't even have a rough timer, really. They don't even know it's up in 20 seconds, so... I mean, they've got the ward coverage there now, but I mean, it's like if this Nami just runs over there as fast as possible, like somehow gets home guards and the speed of a Rammus Powerball, could clear it out before that Baron even comes up. It's up in 10 seconds, and, I don't know if Vici Gaming are really going to be able to try and fight off for it. I really don't. And with Kha'Zix on the other side of the map, it could be a free and easy take. But there are no wards to spot him out, so they have no idea where he's at. Oh, they're starting it. Baron being engaged upon by Team Mii. What do you think Mii stands for?
Most elite. That's what I'm going to go with.
I was going to go with Mass Effect. Because I love the Mass Effect series. Or it could be something that neither of us are talking about. It could be like, it could be a name. It could be like, Marshall Erickson from How I Met Your Mother. Marshall Erickson, blue team. Marshall Erickson. There we go. Got it. The boys in blue.
I'm not sure what's going on exactly. I think Vici Gaming Snakes decided that they had a clear through to go take some mid-turret action, but they didn't realize that Mii was just waiting for an opening to pressure this top here, and they just got 2 turrets and they hit completely uncontested. I don't know why you would go for a base race here. It's just not... I'm really not a fan of base races.
It's because they're the Vici Gaming Snakes. They don't take anything from anybody, especially not Time over there getting knocked up with a Cataclysm. The Death Sentence lands on a Rumble, but all of the damage, Zonius comes up as well. Corky to the backside. Orange is just doing so much work, and now he's going to look for Darkseid. He'll take him down as well, and that is going to be the ace for none. And the boys in blue, Marshall Erickson, Team Me, going to take game 1 of this best-of-3 set in the third place match.
Yep, that's looking like that's what's happening here. Goodbye, Nexus, and hello, 1 point up.
Nexus Explosion. Winner, Marshall Erickson.
Not updated bracket, because instead of updating bracket, I'm attempting to cast the stream.
Attempting?
But
more like rocking the shit out of. More like rocking the shit out of cast on stream.
Please, Tasty Nubbinz, carry me.
We have a winner. Well, ladies and gentlemen, game 1 is over with. We're going to take a quick break in the action. Hopefully, we'll be back in a short time with these fun time games of awesomeness. Game 2 after this. On the TGA LSPL broadcast brought by LPLN.
There's not even anything to update. Anyway, yeah. Be back soon.
Bye. We can totally talk. It doesn't matter.
I have a standard to uphold. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Nah, you're fine.
I assume he has this.
Is this the part where we do silver scrapes? This is the part where we do silver scrapes? No, I don't think it is muted. I think we're still going.
Oh.
I think we're still going. That's why we have to do silver scrapes, remember?
Let's just do music. We're just gonna be quiet. Tag.
So they're not the Vici Gaming snakes?
Okay. Well, they're Snake Vici Gaming. I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Doesn't Vici Gaming snake sound so cool, though? Sounds like such a good name.
I mean, it's such a great name. Obviously,
it sounds
I don't want to
pretty
insult
damn
you.
awesome. You gotta leave it there.
So it looks like on one side we have pretty much a poke-oriented AoE kind of composition where we have the Corki and the Jace, which is going to be laying down a lot of poke. But then we also have the Lockdown and the Rumbles. They're going to mostly be wanting to poke down and then hard engage in teamfight. Whereas on the other side, we have an Assassin, so they want to get a pit. We have a couple Assassins and also a Lockdown, so they want to get a couple pits before initiating the fight. Maokai will, again, late game, they'll want to scale a little bit more into late game to get their Assassins really going, and for Maokai to be able to nullify some of this damage. They won't probably be looking to contest a lot of those early dragon fights, and considering how heavily favored dragon is currently, we'll see just how...
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the TGA LSPL coverage brought to you by LPLN. I'm your man, Nick Tasty Devanjako, with a new face, a very intelligent face, and one of the awesomest faces I know. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Kelsey Moser. Drum roll, please. Where's my GG button? You deserve a GG button. You really do. Good to have you on here, Kelsey. Always good to talk to you.
Exciting.
So it's very exciting. Gotta get all the hype, man. Gotta get all that hype up in there. So we're in picks and bans for game one of this final best of three. It is a best of three, I do believe, between. Oh, wait, this is the third place match. Oh, I thought this was the finals. It's Emmy versus GV.
That's not good. Okay.
That's a heartbreaker. So third place match.
We have a third place match. This was unexpected. Was not on the website. Okay.
And Vici Gaming banned out Morgana. They banned out Morgana from the top laner of Emmy.
I mean, if they want to run Gnar, like it was previously used when they were running Gnar, so, as a counter pick when the enemy top laner ran Gnar, but I guess they just don't want to deal with it in general. Don't see Morganas in the top lane very often.
Yeah, I feel
that's something that you'll ban out if you're not comfortable playing against. Otherwise, though, they did ban out Gnar actually blue side first, so yeah, they just don't want to deal with the Morgana at all. It looks like also we have.
So psyched.
We're very psyched. Okay, looks like also we have a Kazakhs and Jarvan. We've been seeing a lot of Kazakhs and Jarvan jungle, a lot of Jace throughout this tournament. Very standard picks. Looks like they might lock in the Rumble. The Rumble and the Maokai have a very interesting interaction. Early on in lane, Rumble should do pretty well against the tree. But as the game progresses and it gets later and later into late game, the AoE damage cancellation of the Maokai is going to ultimately nullify a lot of Rumble's damage because he doesn't scale very well after mid game.
Yeah, a lot of really ordinary picks. You know, we saw Graves yesterday by, was it the 80 carry? I think it was the 80 carry for Vici Gaming. So a lot of these picks, they're just niche picks that everybody's going with right now. They are the very meta type of stuff. Rumble in the top lane versus Maokai. That's gonna be a fun lane to watch, though, like you were just talking about, because you know they can both still bully each other pretty early on very well. So gonna see who gets the best of each other right there as we wait for this last pick from the side of Vici Gaming. The Gaming Snakes, the Vici Gaming Snakes.
The Vici Gaming Snakes. So yeah, if it wasn't explained before, the Snake organization did end up buying Vici Gaming, so that's why their tag is now Snake GV. We haven't updated it for this tournament, so it looks like they're going to finish this tournament under the same. Devastating that can be for them, or if they can really make it count.
Sounds like a giggity moment to me. And you know, both of these teams yesterday, they weren't having first bloods in their games until 8-9 minutes in. So those early game dragon fights, could just get long, further and further out as these games go on. And this set seems pretty even, if I have to be honest here, just from what I've seen of both of these teams, just yesterday. So this could potentially be a pretty awesome 3-game set.
I'm going to give a slight advantage to Team Me here. I just think that they, at least on an individual talent level, their mid lane, their jungler, and their AD carry have shown just a little bit better standout performances, I think. We had that game earlier tonight where they almost came back from behind just because they were able to position really well in team fights with that Ezreal quirky composition.
So it looks like we're, kind of in that loading screen type area where we get to look at these two people on the couch. So I'm guessing I'm the guy on the left, and you get to be that pretty Asian woman on the right.
And there's just those two boxes. Raz was the pretty Asian woman.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Raz is a pretty Asian woman.